A brand new townhouse and villa community by Meraas, trading 20 to 30% cheaper on a price per square foot basis compared to established communities in a similar area. This is Nad Al Sheba Gardens Phase 10, and if you miss Sidra, this might be your second chance. Hi everyone, this is Zakaria from Aspas Real Estate. I'm a senior manager here in the off-plan team, and I'm going to be talking about Meraas's latest project, their latest addition to their Nad Al Sheba Gardens project, Phase 10. I'm going to be breaking it down, everything you need to know as quick as I can, but diving into the analysis and what I think is an amazing opportunity from an investment perspective, both on the capital appreciation side and also for end users as well. So we'll be diving into all of that like previous videos. First, just a quick community overview. Nad Al Sheba Gardens is a Meraas master community located in Nad Al Sheba or Meydan, just 10 minutes to downtown. It's a freehold townhouse and villa community. Absolutely beautiful. It's got lots of landscaping and greenery, lagoons running through the community. Very well located, prime position in terms of access to downtown Dubai, DIFC, Business Bay, etc. And it's very low density as well, under 2,000 units, which makes it excellent from both an investment point of view and also end users as well. In terms of location, I love where this master community is positioned in terms of Dubai and its expansion plans. It's in an absolute prime location. So as you can see, I've got my laser pointer here. This is where Nad Al Sheba is at the moment, but Nad Al Sheba Gardens, which is the master plan we're talking about today, is this plot of land here. I'll zoom in on it shortly, but I just want us to look at the wider Dubai map first and see how well located this community is, because in my opinion, I think this is a project that's quietly going under the radar. It's still in huge demand, but I don't feel it's being talked about as much as it should be, especially when you look at a lot of other off-plan communities from EMAR and other developers. You know, we've got the Valley, which is much further out, and we have a lot of development in the south, and we have even newer communities like Aura by Bain, which is towards Gantut, closer to Abu Dhabi, etc. So you know, to have a community this well located is rare at this point. So as I said, Nad Al Sheba Gardens is here, downtown Dubai is here. You have DIFC Business Bay as well, so very, very well located as that. Think how successful Dubai Hills estate has been from Amar because of its prime location, central. And if you look, Nad Al Sheba Gardens, Dubai Hills is just across, right here. So if not, it's closer to downtown Dubai than Dubai Hills. And Dubai Hills is an amazing community, and that's something we're going to be benchmarking Nad Al Sheba Gardens against today. Zooming in a little bit closer, we can see this is where Nad Al Sheba Gardens is currently. You can see actually there's already some construction. In fact, Phase 1 and Phase 2 are due for handover at the end of this year, which is just here. They're completely different products, style, floor plans to what is launching in Phase 10. So it's nothing for us to worry about now, but this is an under construction community. This is the Nad Al Sheba District 1 Meydan area, which is obviously owned by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. And you can see Business Bay, downtown's just up here. You have the Ras Al Khor Wildlife Sanctuary over there, and up further, which you can't see, Creek Harbour and Dubai Hills Estate here. So this off-plan community is still in the heart of Dubai, and I can't stress the importance of how good it is that it's located this close to downtown DIFC, particularly DIFC, because at the end of the day, if you're an investor, you want to be looking at who your target market is to rent or sell to upon completion. And you have people that are going to be very wealthy working in the financial district of Dubai. This is critical, really important. I know that there's going to be even more financial companies opening up their offices, moving here, moving their workforce here. And these guys are going to be looking for places to live. And you can see Nad Al Sheba Gardens is perfectly positioned to serve that clientele. Thirdly, the developer. I'm sure most people who are watching this video are familiar with who Meraas are, but for those who don't, Meraas are a government-backed developer. They're now under the same umbrella as Dubai Holding, which has companies such as Nakhil as well. So government-backed, tier 1, ultra-reliable. And in fact, Meraas are known for a higher quality of development compared to other developers such as EMAR, for example. EMAR, an amazing developer, the biggest in Dubai, but Meraas have a better quality of finishing for them. So Why is that important? Again, because who are we going to be serving once this hands over? End users, etc. And they're going to notice that difference. If something feels more premium, they're going to be willing to pay a higher price for that. And something I know firsthand, having spoken to multiple owners in Dubai Hills, Maple, Sidra, even Golf Place, a lot of these guys have actually bought in Nad Al Sheba Gardens. We'll get into that going forward, but they've bought in Nad Al Sheba Gardens because they want to live in a higher quality home by Meraas. And as you can see, as I showed on the map just a few minutes ago, the location from Dubai Hills to Nad Al Sheba Gardens is very similar. So same developers who have been behind City Walk, very, very popular, and Blue Waters as well. That's all you need to know on the developers. So ultra reliable, very trustworthy, and important for anyone looking for a safe investment. So Meraas are now launching phase 10, which just has 201 units. So ultra exclusive, very limited. Again, amazing for end users because you're going to live in a low density community, and for investors because your investment's protected because there's scarcity. Very important. The last phase to launch was actually phase 7. Everything sold out. Phase 7, 5, 4, 2, 3, 6, everything sold out. We'll throw up the master plan so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, but everything sold out. The last one to launch was phase 7. Obviously, phase 8 and 9 was the next logical one to launch, but due to the overwhelming demand, Meraas has decided to launch phase 10 to satisfy that demand. And like I said, there's only 201 units. So there's going to be a lot of people that miss out. Genuinely, you are very lucky to get a unit in this community. And in the total community, just under 2,000. There's 1,817 units with a total resident population of 8,550 planned. In terms of where phase 10 is within the community, it's in a pretty prime location, in my opinion. It's very close to the main amenities, the main lagoon, the main sports parks, etc. So very, very prime location. That's the next phase they're launching. In terms of the community facilities, you've got throughout the whole master plan, retail, pool, you have a school coming up. It will be a tier 1 school, a neighborhood parks, again, dotted throughout the community, lots of greenery, landscaping, mosque, clubhouse, etc. So everything you could need is in this community. These are some of the renders, just absolutely gorgeous. You can see the amount of beautiful landscaping. Again, Meraas, known for their quality, their communities always have a premium feel. But yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. And you can see this image here perfectly. You're going to have the downtown skyline in the background. If you've been to Meydan, you'll know that when you are driving to Meydan, because it's such a low density and low rise community, you do have the downtown backdrop in the distance. The same for the Dubai Hills as well. So yeah, you can imagine this community is going to look gorgeous in the evening, and some villas are going to have some beautiful views as well. Let's move on now to handover date, floor plans and layouts, and of course the prices and payment plans. So handover will be due for Q1 2029. The payment plan is 80/20 with a 20% down payment plus the 4% Dubai land apartment fee. Again, we'll throw up the images so you can see the full payment plan and obviously when the handover is due, but Q1 2029. Floor plans and layouts, and the prices. In terms of starting prices for this community, townhouses are starting at 5.1 million dirhams, ranging from 2,700 square foot built up area up to just under 3,300 square foot of built up area. I think the prices will go to about 6 million. That larger unit is a G+2 end unit townhouse, and I think you would agree that, especially from the latest projects, these are very generous sizes for townhouses, close to the city as well. And when you compare it with Dubai Hills, for example, which we will do, these are phenomenal sizes, all 3-bedroom plus maid. Some of the bigger units have family rooms, and yeah, I think from a size perspective, these are amazing in the current market. On the villa front, you have 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 6 bedroom and 7 bedroom villas. 4 bedroom villas are around 4,800 square foot built up area. 5 bedrooms are 5,600 built up area. 6 bedrooms, just under 7,000 square foot of built up area. And then the big 7 bedrooms, 8,700 square foot of built up area. Starting prices for the 4 bedroom villas, 11.4. 5 bedroom 13.9, 6 bedroom 17.7 million, and 7 bedroom 24.8 million dirhams. These are just starting prices. Of course, expect to pay more depending on location, etc. But that's the starting prices for the townhouses and the villas. And you can see that, as I mentioned in the opening of this video, when we're going to look at a price per square foot basis, these prices are 20 to 30% cheaper than, in my opinion, direct comparisons. And we'll dive into that shortly. If you'd like access to the floor plans and project brief, send me a message directly. My number will be in the description or on the video, or you can leave a comment saying, please, can you share the project brief and floor plans? I'll directly send it to you so you can have a full detailed look at what the floor plans are for each product, the townhouses and the villas, as well as the brief if you'd like to see some of the renders that I've thrown up on the screen here today. Let's dive into the financial analysis, the comparative analysis, which is the most important thing. Do the numbers make sense, and is this a good investment? Does it have the potential to be a good investment? So let's start first talking about potential rental yield. So in terms of how I've gone about this, so I can walk you through my logic and my thinking, looking at the location and the developer. So we have a government-backed developer and we have a prime location, Nad Al Sheba in Meydan. So for me, naturally, it makes sense to have a look at rental yields for comparable square foot sizes in the same area, Meydan, as well as Dubai Hills. Dubai Hills is very centrally located, very close to Nad Al Sheba Gardens, also done by a government developer, an amazing community, has a mall, has a school, has a hospital. These are things that Nad Al Sheba Gardens will have or will have very close access to. I mean, Dubai Hills Mall is only 10 minutes from Nad Al Sheba Gardens, so it will also benefit from that. But for me, naturally, that makes sense. Based on rentals in Dubai Hills today, so I've used the comparisons in Dubai Hills. I've used a Maple 3 bedroom, which is a townhouse in Dubai Hills by Emaar, Maple 5 bedroom townhouse by Emaar in Dubai Hills, and a Sidra villa. Reason I've used a Sidra villa, and again, we're just talking about townhouses for now, is because when you take the square footage of the largest townhouse Nad Al Sheba launching, which is 3,200 square foot, it's actually bigger than a 3-bedroom standalone villa in Dubai Hills. So though it's not a perfect comparison because one's a standalone villa and one's an end unit townhouse, they're different products, on a pure square footage size, they are comparable. And I'll explain in a minute how we can sort of look at that distinction and how we can make a more accurate justification for it. But if we look at those three comparisons, you take the rent per square foot, today you could expect a rent of 358,000 dirhams yearly for the largest townhouse in Nad Al Sheba. You can apply this logic for the smaller 3 bedrooms, the 2,700 if you want, and again you can apply it for the mid-range units as well. But I've done it based on the largest unit, and you can see I've got the comparisons up. We'll throw it on screen here, but you can see, yeah, that is the current rents, what they're renting for now, and their rent per square foot. You then look at a Grand Views that is in Meydan as well. Again, you look at the square foot of that is 3,200 square foot. So again, the same size as these new Nad Al Sheba Gardens that they're launching in the same location, currently renting for 340,000 dirhams. So again, you can use that as a pure benchmark if you want, but the best way to do it, in my opinion, is you take a blended rent per square foot of these units and then you work out the figure. That's how I did it. And in order to avoid bias of that Sidra Villas figure, because I know some of you saying, but you can't compare a villa to a townhouse. I agree, they're different products. You can apply a different weight to that. So for example, you take those 4 comparisons, Maple 3 bed, Maple 5 bed, 3 bedroom Sidra villa, Grand Views twin villa, and the Sidra villa, you could give it a 25% importance in the calculation, whereas you give the Maple 3 bedroom a 30% importance because it's actually a townhouse. That's my logic. Again, if you want the exact analysis, reach out to me, leave a comment, drop me a message, and I'll show you my exact maths behind it. When you look at the potential of what this could rent for in the future, bearing in mind the quality of Meraas is better than Emaar, the location is better than Dubai Hills, and if we just assume that the market continues to appreciate, at a moderate pace. For example, in my analysis, I've gone for a conservative 3% annual growth on the rental prices of this prime community. By 2029, that could grow to 415,000 dirhams per year for these townhouses. So again, a very good sum of money for an investor who's looking at a passive income or a rental yield. Again, I'm doing this analysis on the largest townhouse. I haven't done it for every unit because I don't want to bore people, but just to give a basic understanding and at least walk you through the logic and figures. So if you want to do it for the 5.1 smaller townhouses, you've got my logic, you've got the comparisons on screen, you can do the maths yourself or reach out and we can go through it together, no problem. In terms of capital appreciation, what do I think realistically these products could potentially appreciate to upon handover? And of course, there's different strategies, we can talk about that later, but let's just assume we're looking at the handover date Q1 2029 or just after. There's a few things we need to keep in mind, and I've done an executive summary. I'm sure we'll throw up some snippets of that on the screen. But as I've mentioned, villas and townhouses over the next 3.5 years account for just 9.5% of the overall supply coming to market. Villas and townhouses are undersupplied in this market. The demand far outweighs what is on the market currently and what is coming to market. That's why the absorption rates of these new off-plan launches from tier 1 developers go so quickly. End users are looking at them to upsize, investors are looking at them because there's just great analysis behind them in terms of capital appreciation. That's the first thing. Secondly, if you look at what the market has appreciated this year, we just looked at our H1 2025 report. So far, the residential price index has increased by 8%. It's much higher if you look at the villa and townhouses segment individually, and I could throw that into my analysis, but I'd rather be conservative. So let's just assume this year, which it has, it's risen 8%. So if it maintains that pace, which the market has been consistently doing, by the end of this year, that's a 16% increase in the residential price index. So going on to the model forecasting methodology and how I've predicted my analysis, I've used two methodologies. Firstly, the price per square foot benchmarking. Benchmarking Nad Al Sheba against premium communities and similar products such as Sidra, Golf Place, District 1, Maple. Adjustments I've made for obviously quality, location and built-up area to try and give a fair market value to Nad Al Sheba Gardens. And then compound annual growth rate forecasting using Dubai's current annual growth rate, as I just said, is about 16% a year. Applying that on a 4-year forecast to project the future value of each unit type. And that obviously assumptions of that is continued macroeconomic growth and real estate demand. There could be even more upside, like I said, for the undersupply of villas. But for now, let's just keep it as conservative as we can. And then what I do is I use that price per square foot benchmarking, I blend it with the compound annual growth, merge them together, and that's what gives me an analysis based on real prices today. So looking at capital appreciation forecasts for the townhouses and the villas. 3-bedroom townhouses, entry price 5.1 million dirham. Looking at the price per square foot benchmarking model, which is just looking at Maple, what they're selling for, the 3 bedrooms, the 5 bedrooms, and also what's in Meydan. We're looking at a forecast to increase to 7.2 million dirhams. If you forget the price per square foot model and look at just how the market's appreciating year on year, that comes out to just, 9.5 million dirhams, close to 10 million dirhams, which is almost doubling your money. Blend those two numbers together, you have 8.41 million dirhams, which is a capital gain of 65%. For the 3-bedroom semi-detached, which is the large units, capital gain of 59%. I'm going to throw the table on screen so I don't have to read out every number. 4-bedroom villa, 64%. 5-bedroom villa, 62%. 6-bedroom villa, 58% capital appreciation potential. The key takeaways is that's a huge potential for these villas to grow. And to be honest, you need to build in some assumptions to your model. Like I said, the Meraas build quality outperforms developers like Amar. I think this project is currently undervalued relative to its location and the build quality. When you look at the scenario analysis as well, which builds in further assumptions, conclusion, in my opinion, is that this project and this phase demonstrates robust capital growth potential because we're using current prices today in a very similar comparable community. We're looking at what the real annual appreciation of this market is, which has been fairly consistent over the last 3 or 4 years. And we're looking at what is a prime location by a tier 1 developer. I think investors who buy into this project are going to enjoy significant capital appreciation and they will make a lot of money come handover. That's the capital appreciation. I appreciate I've thrown a lot of numbers there, but I think the analysis is just so clear. And when you've got such an easy comparable, Dubai Hills, it's great because it means you can really conduct a thorough analysis and look at the potential upside of these products. I think there's amazing potential for any investors who are looking at outside capital gains before 2029 or over. Investors or end users, who does this launch actually suit? Both in my opinion, and anything that's good for an end user is amazing for an investor because that's who the investor is going to be selling to. You have a low density community, beautiful master plan, lots of greenery, you have plenty of amenities, school, mall, hospitals, etc. within the vicinity, makes it great for end users. On top of that, the location, as I mentioned, very close to downtown DIFC, so anyone that lives or works there, this is a very quiet villa community just outside the city, but within touching distance. So end users are going to be all over this community. As I mentioned, I know personally investors and end users who live in Dubai Hills and have bought in Nad Al Sheba Gardens to move there upon completion. Not buying it even for investment, they will be moving there when it's finished. If you're an investor, how should you look at the exit strategy for this project? Every investor has a completely different strategy, so it's extremely personal to them. As I mentioned, if you want to reach out to me directly and discuss what that looks like, please do. But in my opinion, I think when you look at the payment plan, it's a bit more difficult to leverage government-backed payment plans from EMA and Meraas in terms of looking at a return on equity, because you have 80% due across the construction cycle and just 20% due on the handover. The return on equity play, in my opinion, is better when you have a larger sum of money due upon the handover. A 50-50, for example, makes it a lot more appealing. In my opinion, I think this is great for investors and an exit strategy that a long-term hold looks at a long-term hold, because you're going to see the biggest spike in capital appreciation as your product comes closer to handover, and when you get the keys, that's when more hype builds around the community. What's really great about phase 10, I know some people might watch this video and say, oh, I've missed phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I've missed the boat. And look, the people that were bold and bought in the earlier phases will see a larger capital appreciation, but it doesn't mean you're not going to see an amazing appreciation as well. I've just walked you through the numbers. I think you'll agree that if those numbers come in the range I've suggested, you'll be very happy with that as a return. Conclusion on the exit strategy, personally, I would wait for the handover. That's when you're going to see the biggest appreciation, and even if you hold it 1 to 2 years after, because phases 1 to 7 will all be handed over by then. The community is going to be very mature, landscaping is going to be done, so it's actually going to be an even more attractive proposition for an end user to move in there. The people that are moving in phase 1, they're going to be in the construction site. It's the reality. So it's actually an upside of buying a later phase in the development. That would be my personal recommendation, to hold it upon completion. In summary, we've got huge townhouses, huge villas trading at a clear discounted price on a price per square foot basis to similar comparables in the market right now, in a prime community, 10 minutes to downtown, by Meraas, community with lagoons, parks and a school. I think there's really good rental yields there, amazing capital appreciation potential. This is definitely going to be one of the launches people wish they bought into once it's handed over, and these guys are selling it for great profits and even renting it out. This is a really rare opportunity, because a lot of the off-plan projects now from major developers are looking at the future growth of Dubai into the south, further inland. This is already in a prime location. by an amazing developer. So there will be more phases after this. So if you're watching this video late and this phase has gone, which it will have sold out, launch of this project will be the end of this month, July. I'm recording this on the 20th. So anyone that's watching this video after that, reach out. There might be cancellation units. I highly doubt it, but there will be a few more phases to come. I promise this is a very rare project to get into, and there won't be many other projects like this going forward. We'll be looking at different locations, not in a prime community. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want any more details, you have any other questions on my analysis, you want to see the numbers for yourself, any analysis I've done, I've taken real life data from Property Monitor or government transactions. If you want that detail, if you want that analysis, if you want to talk to me a bit more detail about this project, whether you're an investor or an end user, how we can get you into this, drop me a message. My details are in the description section. And if you are an investor that's looking at potentially other projects in Dubai, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to assist you with that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.